This is Nick Williams with Temple of Geek, and I'm here at Propstore for a behind-the-scenes preview of their upcoming auction.
I'm Chuck Costas. I'm the Vice President of Business Development here.
Could you give us a brief history on what Propstore is and what they put forth?
Propstore started 25 years ago. It's our anniversary, and we sell authentic movie props, costumes, and memorabilia to collectors.
What can you tell us about this upcoming auction?
Well, this one's a big one. It's 1,900 lots, and it's special in a few different ways. We've got a lot of anniversaries represented, like 1989's Batman, 1984's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But we also have a large selection of Star Trek, all the way from the very beginning of Star Trek in 1966, all the way to present day, which includes the very first items that are being released from Strange New Worlds.
For people who aren't used to auctions like this, tell us what is the process and how this works.
Yes, so if you happen to be here in Los Angeles, the very first day will be at the Petersen Automotive Museum on August the 15th, which is a Thursday. You're welcome to join us live. You can sign up and register when you get there. But that's where you raise your hand and place your bids live. We'll have a live auctioneer calling it. If you can't be in Los Angeles and can't come down, you can always go online. And you'll still see the live auctioneer on your screen. You've got a little button that'll say place your bid, and you can bid along with that auctioneer. But if you also can't be there that day, you can place your bids in advance, and the system will automatically place those bids for you. Also, telephone bidding is an option. So if you want to pretend like you're in the room or have somebody be your surrogate, we'll call you up a few lots before, and we'll be on the phone as the live bidding is going down, and we'll place those bids for you. And then the final way is absentee bidding, which is where you let us know your top price, and then the auctioneer will place those bids on your behalf. And the benefit of that is if you happen to be tied with somebody else, you actually win out on them because you placed your bid first.
What are some of the big items that you're promoting for this auction?
Yeah, we have some model miniatures. So we have these 11-foot Nostromo that was used in the very first Aliens. We also have a Batwing that was used in the 1989 Batman. That's only 6 feet. And behind you, you've got the Independence Day ship. But those are some of the big ones. Those are estimated at $250,000 to $500,000. We've got this Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom hat that was worn by stunt performer Dean Ferrandini. It came from his collection originally, but was also worn by Harrison Ford. So it's an awesome piece. And then the Spiker Scout helmet from Return of the Jedi, also all estimated at $250,000 to $500,000.
So you've got a process of being able to screen match a lot of these items. Could you tell us about that process and what you go through?
Yeah. So it starts with identifying flaws on the item that we have that might be unique to it, that you would see on screen. And so when we say on screen is, let's say we have a book, and we'll find every instance in the movie where that book appears. And sometimes there are different versions used. And so what we're trying to do is identify the marks on our book to the one that we see on screen. And if we can do that, it's screen matched. But sometimes we can't do that because it's too far away. You can't see those flaws on it. Then what we'll do is look for behind-the-scenes photos, and that's called photo matching. And if we can match to one of those, that's kind of the next step in the process. But a lot of it is really just looking at the film, making sure that we can identify that. Other things that we do is talk to people that were there, whether it was the prop master in this case that may have made the book, or other people, or look for other examples that we have from that to try to make sure that the book that we have is authentic, and that's the first thing that we want to do. And then if we can go to that extra step and actually screen match it, that adds even more value to it.
So you pride yourself on being able to have items that were used in the production. Mm-hmm. And how do you go about getting some of these items up for auction?
Yeah, I think a few different ways. Sometimes they do come directly from the studios, especially if we're doing a studio auction. But for auctions like this, where we have over 600 titles represented, they come from various sources. One is collectors that have been collecting them for a number of years. Some are from industry sources, people that actually worked on those films originally or television shows. But yeah, they come from various things, sometimes storage locker finds. And I think, again, part of our challenge is we have to authenticate those items to make sure that they're real. And so understanding the chain of ownership, how they were constructed, those are all important things for Propstore to look into. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of just a selection of different things in this auction. We were able to put together a few different collections of Star Trek. We have a number of costumes. We've got the key sort of captains up here. We've got Captain Picard. We've got Captain Janeway. And in the middle, we have the newest, or I guess the newest captain, which is Captain Pike, although he's probably one of the oldest captains in some ways. Other sci-fi, we've got these from Aliens. So this is an original face hugger from the very first Aliens. As you'll notice, it's a little bit brown. As most things with movies, they didn't intend these things to necessarily stay around as collectibles for years to come, but it has been sympathetically restored and conserved so that it keeps its original shape. We've also got from Star Wars, we've got a number of different items, and we'll see some in the other room as well. This is from the very, I guess, episode 7. This is a First Order Stormtrooper, some cuffs, and this is actually from A New Hope. This is a Stormtrooper blaster. Another movie that has an anniversary, Ghostbusters, originally released in 1984. This is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's hat. A gentleman would be walking around as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and this was one of the hats that he would have worn on his head. This is from Tombstone. This is some red-headed kid. And then these are also Star Trek. You wouldn't believe it. This is from the famous Robin Hood sequence from an episode from season 4 called Cupid. This one's from Life. This one is from Red Planet over here. We have some people that just collect spacesuits, and I think you can start your spacesuit collection with these two over here. This is a stunt jacket that was used in X-Men 2, but 2 from Robot Jox. But it's amazing to see what size. These are, again, miniatures. They're about 4 feet tall. This is also Star Trek. This is a Romulan disruptor for folks that are more familiar with the new Picard series. Any idea what movie this one is from? This is one that says what it is actually from. That. When we talk about Star Wars, the key piece that we have in the auction here is a Biker Scout helmet. So for Return of the Jedi, they wanted to reimagine what the Stormtroopers would look like. And the first thing you'll notice on this is sort of the blinders that you find on this. This helmet, you'll see some seams on the side. It actually flips up. So the flip up allowed them to eat, do all their stuff, not take off their masks, not lose their masks, and go back to filming. And it was a time-saving thing. And so we expect a lot of bidding on this. Estimate on this is $250,000 to $500,000. This is an Indiana Jones hat, and this one actually has an amazing history on this. Interesting part about the hat is, as we were also doing research on the hat, did Harrison Ford wear this? Did Harrison Ford wear this? We actually were able to screen match it to Harrison Ford wearing this hat. And the way that we were able to match it is the bow on the side. If you come over this way, I'll let you guys get over there. The bow on the side of the hat is the key. It is the Rosetta Stone to matching Indiana Jones hats. But this is also estimated at $250,000 to $500,000. This is another one of our classic model miniatures that we are offering here that is only 4 feet. So this is like a real true miniature. But this was used, you can tell from the paint job on this, and this is probably the most intricate paint job that we've ever seen on one of these. We were able to screen match this because of the paint job to the sequences where the ship is rebuilt by the people from Earth and it is flown up to the mothership. Because this is a model miniature and it is made practical, they have a grip on here so that they could move it when they're filming, they could tilt it, they can do other things. There are also access panels that you can take off here, so there's magnets that connect this. This is our horror corner. The one in the back is from Scream 1, and so we were extremely excited to find this. And when we did the screen matching, we knew this was from Scream 1. We found that this was from the very first sequence where Ghostface attacks Sydney. Any idea what this is over here?
Is it from The Shining? Is that Jack Torrance's axe?
Would you like to hold it?
If it is, I might lose my mind.
This is one. So there were obviously a number of ones that were used in the movie. But yeah, there was a number, obviously, for when you're going to cut through a door, you need an actual real one. But if you are running around in a snow maze, you don't really want to have one that you can fall on that's going to hurt you, so you would have a stunt version of the axe. You see Freddy Krueger, I believe this is from the 3rd movie. The glove is from the 5th movie. A Jason mask, I have to check my notes on that if that's 6th or 7th movie. But this one's screen matched. And then we've got, you saw Chucky out there, this is his bride. We're keeping him separate for now because otherwise a lot of evil happens. The very first Ghostbusters movie, this was used, and you can see that it's got holes for people to put their arms in. It came out in 1984, so it's been 40 years since this movie came out.
It's great.
It looks great. We did restore this, and this is the Daniel Craig version of James Bond. I'll give you. It's in the Die Hard franchise, Die Hard 2.
Oh, Die Hard 2.
So
okay.
it's he gets stuck in. He gets stuck. I believe is it Dulles Airport?
Yeah.
And so this is one of the jackets that John McClane would wear. So this is Happy Gilmore's Boston Bruins. As you remember, the frustrated hockey player that had to play golf. You can call him Bones, you can call him McCoy,
yeah.
You can call him whatever you like. But yes, this is an original 1960s medical outfit of Bones. Rose, yes. Yes, aka Kate Winslet. Yeah. So this is one of the sinking coats. This one is screen matched. They would wear a number of different sinking coats because the boat was sinking and it got a lot of water. John Travolta. Yes, it's Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever.
This is when he is walking down the street.
Oh.
Brad Pitt. This is from Seven.
Seven. Okay.
Yes. This is Brad Pitt's jacket from Seven. This is Harrison Ford's jacket or shirt from Blade Runner.
Cool.
So again, the design makes it also screen matchable, and so this is a screen match shirt. That is correct. So this is Data from Goonies. So this is the coat. He would have the belt. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is a stunt jacket, and Jonathan Keekwan. What is the actor's name is? Gladiator, obviously big in the news these days because of Gladiator 2 coming about. These are some of the key props that are coming from that film. Amazing to see the storytelling that goes into the costumes and into the props. This is one of Maximus's shields, not metal. Movie magic again. But a lot of detail. So it's the leather on the inside is weathered as if it was a Roman gladiator that was using this. This is a hero sword from Maximus. We talked about Star Trek. So I talked about the idea that we've got Star Trek from the very beginning all the way to present day. From the early days of Star Trek, this is a season 3 hero tricorder. Obviously, tricorders, one of the classic props from Star Trek. There weren't many built. And it was screen matched to Spock's use in the third season. So, down here we have more items from the Akuta collection. This is an example of one of the graphics that they would collect. So a lot of cool stuff, some more phasers and Klingon weapons as well. So this is another model miniature going with our theme of oversized model miniatures. This one's 6 foot in span. This was used in the very first 1989 Batman movie. What you'll notice is that, these are all moving parts. This originally started, the animatronics started with pneumatic tubes, which is air pumped tubes. Why don't we move the missiles out?
Sure.
All right, and then maybe we can move those back. How about the Gatling gun? We'll get that out, get ready to shoot some stuff down on the street. But yes, it's got synchronized, you can synchronize the lights and the Gatling gun so that it looks like it is shooting bullets out onto the street. There we go. Check me out. Oh, he's looking at Ryan.
Slow turn.
He's looking at me. And then for the final sequence, he brings out his clippers. Now let's go ahead and open it up. Let's go grab those balloons. Ooh. All right, got them. Squeeze them in. All right. And then there's a saw that will come out. Now this is the only thing that it did spin back in the day. And then these are from Batman Returns. To complete our Batman. If you look at the items on the bottom, those are from more recent Batman movies. Those are from Batman versus Superman. For whatever reason, I think when people got to the Batman franchise, they're like, we don't need just one grapple gun. We need 2 grapple guns in the same movie. So there's both types of grapple guns that Batman uses in Batman versus Superman. In the very back, we have another sword here, and I'll let you guys play with this one too.
Sick.
If you want to be
Wonder Woman sword?
This is Wonder Woman's sword. So this is Gal Gadot is introduced in this film.
I wasn't aware of the Shining stuff, so
Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman. So these are Vivian's. These are the gift that Vivian gets.
Oh.
And these came from the costume designer. Harry Potter, I think, is as a focus here. A number of different wands. I'll start with this. In the first 2 movies, they were made out of wood. So this is McGonagall's wand from the first one, so they were tooled. This is the Elder Wand. We've got a couple of light ups. This is Hermione's, and this is Harry's. And this, as they progressed in the movies, they started making these more practical. So
Lumos.
yeah. So these are what they would call sort of stunt wands, and this is what they would call a hero wand. This is from a movie called American Graffiti. Nervous plate. Anybody recognize? Ferris Bueller. Very hard to find things from 2001, and if you can't afford an entire costume, you got this great display of some patches. That is a Tesseract. This is actually not a real, this is a decoy Tesseract. This is the one that they find at the beginning of the movie. It's not the real Tesseract. Got a Thor hammer down there, which I won't necessarily pull out for now. Wolverine's claws, those are from Logan. Logan, he was supposed to be older, and so these are more weathered. These are hero metal ones. A lot of times they would make them out of resin. But a Wonka bar, but this is actually, it's not real candy, and I think there's different versions out there. This is just sort of a background one that was made out of like a piece of cardboard. And this box of chocolates, anybody?
Oh,
Forrest Gump.
That's right. That's right. So started its life as a real Russell Stover's box. This is the Book of the Dead, or the Necronomicon from Evil Dead 2. This is the handbook for the recently deceased from Beetlejuice, the original, and then a sports almanac from Back to the Future 2, always a popular one. The mask is Jim Carrey's mask. I'm smoking.
Okay.
It's just great to see the paint jobs on these. But Battlestar Galactica, Draconian Marauder, the Black Hole, batteries not included. And that actually, the Jurassic Park helmet is actually Jurassic World when they go back and discover the cave with the old items. Star Wars at the top. A lot of lightsabers. Yeah, so this obviously when they're acting, this part gets illuminated, but this allows the actors to actually have their fights as if this was a real sword.
This was a crew gift?
This was a crew gift. And then anybody know whose gun this is?
Ponda Baba.
That is correct. AKA Walrus Man if you had the action figure. It's got the belt clip still on it. We've got Captain America shield. And this one is more modern day. This is pretty cool. This is a Hero Men in Black gun from Men in Black 3. I don't know if I got the... and I guess we'll end with Goofy here. But Goofy here is a theme park Goofy. So these don't get out very often. This is probably, I think, from either the late 90s or early 2000s. But it's kind of neat in that when the actors move around, if you go to the theme park, you'll notice that their eyes kind of move as well. And so there's technology built into this. That being said, we've reached the end of our tour in here.